Hello and welcome to Health Talk. I'm Dr. Manny. Have you ever blamed yourself for not losing weight? Thinking maybe I'm still eating too much or not exercising hard enough? But what if I told you it's not your fault that a little condition known as metabolic syndrome is causing your body to store fat rather than burn it? Here to tell us more is political pollster and author of Become a Fat Burning Machine, Mike Berlin. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Manny.
You are a pollster, politics, statistics, the whole 9 yards. What made you write a book about losing weight?
Well, you know, I was working on campaigns for Mike Bloomberg here in New York, right. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. I was even doing corporate work for companies like Facebook, and I was helping them find solutions for their most important issues. And yet I was neglecting mine, which was I was gaining weight, 1 to 2 pounds every year, which in your 20s isn't a big deal. By the time you get to your 30s, you're a little pudgy. I got into my 40s, and I weighed 250 pounds, and my doctor was going to put me on cholesterol medicine. And I say, how can that possibly be? And so I took those same skills as a researcher, and I applied it to weight loss.
All right. You talk about metabolic syndrome. What is it?
Well, metabolic syndrome was the big finding for me, which I didn't know that I had, that my body was designed to store fat and rather than to burn it. And that the food that I was eating, I was insulin resistant. You're a doctor. You know what that means.
I am.
And so my body was actually not able to use all the calories I was eating. So instead of burning them for energy, I was storing them. And certain types of foods, like sugars and carbs, were actually getting stored more readily rather than being burned. And I learned about it because my glucose was rising, my cholesterol was rising, but most importantly, I was getting a tire around the middle of my weight, and that's how I knew. My doctor said, you have metabolic syndrome. And you know what I said? What is that?
Right.
Like, whoever talks about it.
Yeah. All right. Everybody wants to know, how does the diet work?
It's very simple. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a trainer. I'm a researcher. And so I had to really, for my clients, I have to simplify it. And so there are fat-burning foods and there are fat-storing foods. If you eat the fat-burning foods, your body can process it, particularly if you have metabolic syndrome like I do. So proteins like chicken, fish, leafy vegetables, good fats, like almonds, even butter, are all things that can be burned. And we stay away from fat-storing foods like pasta, like carbohydrates and sugars, even things like Gwyneth Paltrow will tell you to eat steel-cut oatmeal.
Right.
Fat-storing. Oprah will tell you to eat bread. Fat-storing. Those are all things that actually drive your body can't process, and because of your insulin resistance will just become fat.
And I think that, I think one of the unique things is you have focused on a patient population that is, kind of specific, but very large.
They call us, if we get into technical terms, they say we're pre-diabetic, or they say that we're at higher risk for heart disease. But the truth of the matter is we need a sustainable diet because we can't lose 10 and gain 15. And that's what's happening if you go on those gimmicky diets.
All right. Let's tackle a couple of myths, because my producer loves tackling myths here.
Okay.
Give me one of the things that you talk about. You shouldn't work out on an empty stomach.
That's definitely a myth.
That is a myth.
Working out on an empty stomach, particularly in the morning, is great because your glycogen levels are down because you've been sleeping all night. To actually get the energy that you need, you'll tap into your fat storage. So I recommend two things, Dr. Manny. One, work out in the morning on an empty stomach. Two, drink a cup of coffee before you do because the coffee actually breaks up the fat cells. My co-author, Gail Bernhardt, says Olympic athletes have known that, she's an Olympic trainer, have known that for years. And that's what they do to sort of get their body going in the morning.
All right. The other thing is you say fruit is natural, therefore all fruit must be good for you.
Right. Total myth.
Bull.
Yeah, I was going to say the other word.
I do bull.
Yeah, I like it. Because it's, just because it looks healthy, just because the cavemen might have eaten it, it doesn't mean that it's healthy. It's full of sugar, particularly pineapple, watermelon, grapes, all the fruits that I used to love.
Right.
I used to think, well, if an apple a day is good, let's have two.
Right.
No, it's really
so
bad.
high glycemic index fruit is really not a good choice for us.
That's exactly right.
All right. And the last thing, a good workout means you have to sweat a lot.
Yeah, I think that we've been tricked by the gyms to think that you have to, work out into a sweat storm, really, hit it hard. And the truth of the matter is, miracle intervals, which are high intensity and then recoveries, are much better. Get your heart rate up for 30 seconds and let it drop for 3 minutes. Get your heart rate up, let it drop. That is so much more effective for weight loss.
All right, listen, very well researched book, everybody. You got to get it. Where can people get more information on this?
You can get it at Amazon or Barnes & Nobles, or go to our website, fat-burning-machine.com.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much. There's a great information here. And if you have any health questions, send me a tweet at Dr. Manny on Fox. Until next time, I'm Dr. Manny.